It's no secret that Arcane is one of, if not the, best animated shows to bless the human race with its existence. I love it. You love it. The entire world loves it. I have just finished watching Season 2 and I need to talk about it. But my thoughts are very scatterbrained and all over the place. So to help me organize my mind, I kidnapped my only other friend who's seen the show. Thank you, Aaron, for having this conversation with me today.
You're very welcome. However, if you're looking to narrow down the scatterbrainness, I do not think I'm going to be very effective.
Yeah, well, a lot happened in just these 9 episodes. Just like the first season, there's lots going on.
For sure. I do think that there could have been one more episode to this show, because it does seem like they fly along at a pretty rapid pace, and there's so much going on. I really wish that we had just gotten 10 episodes.
Yeah, honestly, I agree. I don't have a lot of, complaints, but I think Act 3 of this season was actually pretty fast. Oh, and I guess I should say, before we get too far into it, there's gonna be spoilers in this video, so, be warned, we're just gonna talk about everything that goes on. Yeah, the video you're watching is gonna have clips of the show. It's also gonna have just random video game gameplay to get this out faster. I would play League of Legends, but then I would have to reinstall League of Legends, and I'm just not willing to relapse after being 2 years sober, so that's not gonna happen. It's gonna be like Genshin Impact or something, I don't know. We'll figure it out later. But yeah, there'll be clips of the show, we're gonna talk about the show. Okay.
That's where you say, I could play League of Legends, but then I'd have to play League of Legends.
Exactly, you understand. Yeah, no, instead, it's great that Riot just gave us a show that's really good.
So I guess starting with Act 1 probably is the right way to go. So what was your favorite thing about Act 1?
Okay, so Act 1 in the season, a lot like Act 1 of first season, was a little bit slower. It was obviously very good. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 yet, in both Season 1 and this season. My favorite thing about the entire season is Aisha, Jinx's little mute companion. Her existence does more for me than everything else in the entire show combined. I absolutely love her. She's precious, and if anything happens to her, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself.
I hope you're the only person in your room.
Yeah, unfortunately, something did happen to her, and I'm devastated.
Emotional damage for sure.
Yeah.
That was pretty rough. She was good. I think that the, parallel dynamic between young Vi and young Powder / Jinx combined with Isha and Jinx's relationship is a really good parallel between the two, and it really makes you feel like Powder's grown up, really. I thought that was a really emotional scene.
Because Jinx is the embodiment of chaos and destruction, really. She cements herself as that at the end of Season 1. She's not irredeemable. She can still show kindness and have human connection, which is really cool. That's just the kind of shit I like to see in stories.
Yeah, Arcane was really good about having complicated characters that, there's redeemable qualities and there's also bad things about them too. I think Arcane does a really good job of having that.
I guess Act 1 specifically. I saw it 3 weeks ago. I don't know how much I remember, besides vibes.
Vibes?
Yeah.
I would say, I feel like something that was really missing in Act 1 was a couple scenes or some sort of introduction to the Enforcer Squad that Vi joins.
Yeah.
Because they're just kind of nameless and there. The big thing, I guess, since we're talking about spoilers, is I just feel like they needed more scenes to set up the betrayal that's at the end of the season.
Oh my god. Yeah. Maddie is just... I liked Maddie. Yeah. From Act 1 even, I thought, oh yeah, she's a cool little character. She's not doing a lot. I hope she gets to do more. And I guess she did, but yeah, her betrayal was just kind of I guess she is loyal to M-Pesa for some... Yeah, we just didn't get enough to see why she would be. Which made it pretty shocking, but it's not super effective.
The main issue I have with her is I'm a big Caitlyn Vi stan, so anything coming between them, not happy about. Screw that.
Oh my god. Yeah, on that note, I think the best F-bomb ever in the history of F-bombs was in episode 8 or something.
Listen, while you were gone, I saw someone. Kate. I don't fucking care.
That was a good one. I do think I wanted a scene I think how they could have done it was like have the introduce the Enforcer Squad, give a little detail about them, and then I don't think they need to have like a lot of screen time, but I just wanted like a little something for each one to do. Maybe the Shield guy, he's actually from the Undercity and he also moved up, so that could be like a parallel to Vi, where she's like, oh, you did this, okay, maybe I can do this too, or something like that. I also feel like maybe it's Maddie, right? The lady where maybe she's new to the squad or something like that. Like she's new to the Piltover enforcement, and that kind of teases like, hey, she's new. She's not. Maybe that kind of like teases the whole Ambessa betrayals. Like Ambessa put her in there,
yeah,
secretively.
For sure, there could have been a bit more. I do totally agree that that entire squad was a little flat in a show so full of incredible characters with such depth. Like even in season 1, the side characters were like all fleshed out. Here it was a little bit lacking, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I just feel like it was missing a couple scenes to like play something, to really sink in an arc or something. Maddie did have stuff to do, and I was cheering in my seat when she met her untimely demise. I was like, Charles, get this lady out of here.
It was surprising. I mean, I guess we knew Caitlyn couldn't die because like she's a champion. It was a good kill.
You say that, but Ambessa.
Oh yeah, Ambessa's dead. I actually don't know if Jinx is dead. No body, no kill. You know what they say.
Yeah, I've seen a couple things where if you like go frame by frame, they have like a dash of pink smoke that flies out from the side. So theoretically, she's still alive because Caitlyn was also looking at the schematics for the hex gates, and there's like vent tunnels, right?
The schematics was what I noticed. Was like, oh, they're showing that for a reason.
Also, the very last shot is a little bit strange because it's a blimp flying away, and apparently in the very first episode, Powder says that one day she wants to fly away on one of those blimps. So,
interesting.
Maybe she's on the blimp and flying away.
Also, I think if you like frame by frame it, right at the end, there's like the end in Jinx's sketched out writing. I feel like these are little hints. They're like, no, Jinx isn't dead yet, which is great because she is my favorite character.
Speaking of favorite characters, something that changed from the first season for me was I love Ekko in this season. Ekko's story was awesome.
Ekko got a lot to do here, which I'm a huge fan of. Episode 7, where he goes to the parallel universe. I think that's going to be like a love or hate episode for a lot of people. I loved it. I loved seeing what could have been if things were just a little bit different. I mean, his dedication to go back to his real universe, despite being in like the perfect timeline, I think that just adds a lot to his character and what kind of person he is.
It kind of reminded me this is going to be a weird throwback of like Stranger Things season 2, where they have an episode where the main character Elle just like disappears and has like a side adventure and then comes back to the main story. And most people hated that episode because you're building up to this big thing and then you just stop and have the side episode then come back. But I really enjoyed this side episode. Legitimately, tears were coming to my eyes as they're dancing on the dance floor. Like that was such a good sequence. And Heimerdinger.
I guess he's dead. I didn't even realize that's what happened because they like really did it quickly. But yeah, I suppose he got blipped into death somehow.
I mean, that's a big sacrifice for him to make because they live really long lives, right? So he's 1,000 years, like hundreds or thousands of year old being that's giving up his life to send a mortal back to the place.
Back to a worse place. Yeah. But going back to like the dance scene with Powder and Ekko, that was fantastic. Like, the entire episode is great, but spending time with just them and their relationship is perfection.
It was definitely a heart-wrenching moment there.
The most heart-wrenching moment, of course, like I said, episode 6, where Aisha takes the bucket. That's my favorite scene of this season. I absolutely love it. I know it's very sad. It's so tragic, but it's also just like so beautiful. I guess maybe I like the dichotomy between beauty and tragedy. That's my thing, I suppose.
So I hate to be the devil's advocate here, but what actually did that accomplish? Because she didn't kill Warwick, she didn't kill Victor, she didn't stop Ambessa.
I think she did kill Warwick in that moment, but then Singe just came back and was like, we're just going to use this body for
science.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it let them escape. They were in a losing fight. So I guess that's what happened. Again, I loved the relationship with her and Jinx, because it shows Jinx's humanity. There's still a person inside of that chaotic soul. And then the thing that, like, tethered her to humanity was killed. And it's just so devastating.
They definitely tugged at the heartstrings there.
Yeah, she was even going to commit suicide because she was so devastated by it. But then our boy Ekko came in and saved her. Bro, Ekko the goat?
He is the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT. He's so good. Yeah, and of course, getting all the origin story Easter eggs and making the Z drive is cool, and getting to use it is cool. The way they integrate, like, the characters' abilities from League of Legends into the story is very, very clever, I think. Or it's kind of a moment of, like, you can be Leo pointing at the screen, like, I recognize that. But it also just makes sense in its own right, so if you've never seen it, it doesn't feel out of place.
I guess speaking of League of Legends designs that were brought into animation, I think a lot of people didn't like the Warwick design very much, but I thought it was actually pretty good.
I liked it in this story. In a vacuum, I don't like the way it looks. I like Warwick as a dog instead of a guy. But I mean, for this story, it makes sense why he looks like Vander, because he is, and it's, I guess, easier to connect to a human face than a dog face.
That's exactly what I was going to say, where this story is really about, right, the reconnection of Vander, Vi, and Jinx. And if you have a dog face, you might not necessarily get that connection that they're trying to look for in the story. I was kind of hoping that when they did his rebrand, so to speak, in the Act 3, that he was going to look more like actual Warwick than what he ended up being. Some sort of weird golem almost looking thing. Yeah.
Speaking on that point, the Victor redesign was very dramatically different. I don't dislike it. I think it's different from the game, but that's okay. It's like the same vibes, I'd say.
I got a lot of flack for this, but I felt like he had Shurima vibes, almost like the kind of Emperor sort of vibes.
I can see it, yeah. Which I think makes sense for this story, because he is the fucking, was it the Jonestown guy, basically? That's what he became?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it's like, oh yeah, if he wants to be the God Emperor, that feels fitting, I think, for him to be in that direction, for his design to look that way.
Would you let Victor evolve you?
Well, depends, right? Before he got blasted by Jace, I feel like he was doing good, where the people kept their humanity. But after that, he was just turning them into Phyrexians for Magic the Gathering, and I mean, that's no bueno. That's no good. What about you?
I would not. No. Heck no. I don't want him touching me. Don't touch my head.
Yeah. Okay, that kind of leads me into a thought of the season as a whole. Like, we were complaining a little bit about how fast it was. The last act was so quick. We got a war between Piltover and Noxus. We got the rise of Ultron. We got the end of this class struggle that was the basis for the previous 17 episodes. That just ended instantly.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange.
And it all happened right at the end there. It was kind of shocking. And it wasn't bad, but in a show that is mostly very, very good, it was just super quick. It's too much too fast, I feel like, where there's all these huge ideas, and they're all pretty cool, but it came like a speeding bullet.
You can't really get a look at the water that you're in when you're in a speedboat.
Yeah, exactly. And I really liked the class struggle that was the basis of the plot, and for that to just end with Jace telling everyone, "We're gonna get fucked, guys, please help us." And they're like, yes, good idea, we will help you. I'm like, that's it? That's all it took? It was just a third worst enemy? I guess that makes sense.
What if they had a scene where he promised them independence after the fight or something? Would that have sort of helped along a little bit?
I mean, it would have, anything more. I think I just wanted a more natural fading out of that plot line. The way the story was going for all of the first 6 episodes, I was kind of expecting a revolution in Zaun and a war between Zaun and Piltover.
I think that Noxus was a good threat for them to face because it's entirely different from the two of them, right? And they're so prepared for the fight. Like Noxus is prepared. They're constantly at war, right? So it was something that Piltover and Zaun had never faced before, which was threatening. When it comes to the ending, though, there is one thing that after it didn't bother me when I watched it, but after I sat and thought about it, really drove me a little bit nuts. And I'm curious if you thought about this. After Victor and Jace have their climactic moment, all of Victor's like tourney things, right? Like his drones that he's created, they're gone. They're deactivated, basically, right? So why the heck is Warwick still active? Because he's basically a Victor creation at that point, right? So why was Warwick still active?
That is a good point. I don't have an answer for you. I suppose it is a little bit contrived for that to happen.
I feel like they just wanted to get to the ending of Jinx sacrificing herself and just wrote that in there. I feel like a kind of similar ending that could have been good is it all started, right, with Vander taking Vi and Jinx and raising them. And then at the end of the series, you have Jinx and Vi coming together again over Vander, losing him again, and maybe Vi reaching out and saying like, hey, look, we saved Piltover, we can be together, we can do this. And Jinx is like, sorry, I can't do that. It's too fast, we're not gonna do this. I have to go do my own thing. Like I think that could have been an ending that has like emotional catharsis to it and makes sense for their characters, and still kind of achieves that same thing with with Vi and Jinx separated, because I think that's what they wanted towards the end. It just felt so strange that Warwick came back after Victor died and he had basically made him a drone. It didn't make sense to me after I thought about it.
I hadn't thought about it, but I guess that's a bit of a hole there, which is fine. I guess it's like I said, this whole season it's just a little bit worse than season 1. I feel like season 1 is, a goated masterpiece. It belongs up there with Avatar: The Last Airbender and Spider-Verse as the best of the best. And it was unrealistic for us to think season 2 would be just as good, I think. So I'm perfectly fine with like an 8 out of 10 season off the back of an 11 out of 10. It's good enough.
Dang, an 8 out of 10, you thought it was that low?
I don't know. I mean, I'll need to have more time for like my brain to process things. I liked it a lot. I think the middle section, I guess I'm just really attached to Aisha. I really liked that bit of the story and the parallel universe. And the ending, the last 2 episodes are a little bit but I can't like ignore all the good that led up to that. It's no Game of Thrones situation. It's not that bad.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I do think like the first season for me is like near a 10 out of 10. It's so like every part about it is well crafted, well thought out. The characters are great. And this one drops a little bit, but there are some really strong sequences within the whole show. It's crazy. The level of animation, the level of emotion they're able to get with their sequences. They are really good at crafting storytelling, like crafting stories and eliciting emotion out of the audience. That's something that isn't in animation all the time.
Yeah, I'm super impressed by it. And the different animation styles they go for is also beautiful. Just mixes of 2D and 3D and frame rate changes and that kind of thing. But something that they doubled down on in this season was the musical numbers. The music scenes they did in this season were better than like even Broadway. The Cats 2019 could never.
I mean, there's no singing in this though. That's a whole nother ballpark. Well, wait, take that back. Heimerdinger sang, and it was like the best part.
That's true. That was also a really good song. There's so many songs, I can't even like remember them all. I'll have to, whenever the album gets released on Spotify, I'll have to re-listen to everything and like try to pick out which ones I love the most.
Yeah, I was unironically listening to it driving today.
Yeah, I'll need to get onto it because it was good. I loved the album from the first season. I didn't know who Sting was before he sang What Could Have Been, but now I know. Thanks, Sting. He's also very famous, so for me not knowing who he is.
Born before like 1980 is just really bad at you right now.
Nobody that old is watching this, come on. Oh, right, okay. A few more things, very small. The openings, right? I think Season 2's opening was actually quite a bit better than Season 1's.
As in, like, the first few episodes?
No,
or...
literally, like, the song, like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like the animation. I thought it was a bit more inspired. If you remember, like, the Season 1 was kind of aesthetic around, like, marble statues.
So I really liked the Season 1 openings. It reminded me of the Daredevil Netflix TV show, because they did that essentially the same kind of concept, but with blood instead of marble. Like, running blood, creating shapes and stuff like that, and they used marble. I thought this one was good, too. I'm just kind of fond of... the first season's one.
Yeah, I mean, it is good. I think I liked the shots they had in the opening for this one. I particularly love the shot of just Ekko standing, and his shadow is, like, ticking backwards, like a clock. And it's like, that's so inspired. That looks really, really cool.
My favorite shot from the first season is when Silco, like, comes up from behind them. Like, that shot's pretty sick.
Oh, yes, I know the one you're talking about.
And do you think that Victor created Oriana or Singed created Oriana?
It looked like Singed did it, if that was supposed to be Oriana.
I'm sad we didn't see Camille or Renata as well, because they're both based out of Piltover and Zaun, I believe. So I'm really sad we didn't get to see them.
They're cool people, too. Do we talk about enough stuff? I don't know. This is just good. I mean, we both liked the season a lot. Don't like it as much as Season 1. But still, it's great. I'm so happy that they didn't fuck it up. Like, it's good. And they're not making more Arcane, but they're making other shows in the universe, I guess, is what the news is.
Yeah, and that makes me really sad, to be honest, because I really would like to see more with these characters. I hope that they do branch into the other series as, like, a couple crossover episodes or cameos or something, but I'm going to be heartbroken if this is the last time we see Vi and Jinx and Caelid.
Yeah, that would be such a bummer. I feel the same way, but I'm also very optimistic because I don't know if you remember what people were thinking before Season 1 came out. Nobody thought it was going to be good. League of Legends is a meme for being shit already. They're making a League of Legends anime? Yeah, that's going to be good. And it was incredible. They blew us all away. So if they make, like a Shurima show or something else, and oh my god, if they go to the Yordles, Bandle City, and it sounds stupid, but they could pull it off, my expectations are just like, whatever. I trust them completely to make something that's at least very good, if not phenomenal.
I really want to see Ionia with, like, Zed, Lux, Garen, Riven, Yasuo, like, those champions. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, they could tell a lot of stories there. I mean, it seems like they've geared up to do, like, a Demacia Noxus story next, just given how involved Noxus was here, but I genuinely have no idea what they're planning on doing next. If they could recapture Season 1 again, which is asking for too much, but that'd be amazing. I'll settle for, what this was. This was great. I want more. We can't always have more.
It's just going to be another 250 million.
Yeah. I think it was 250 million for both seasons, but that could be wrong.
Yeah, it is both seasons, but that's crazy amount of money for an animation series.
It is a lot.
That's a lot of dollars.
It is a lot of dollars. I wish I had 250 million. I would make a Bionicle anime. That's what I would do.
Didn't they do that?
I guess they did. I'd continue it. I'd make more because they were so good. Well, I guess we have talked as much as we can about this for now. Good show. Everyone should watch it. I like.
You like?
I like.
Was that what you're ending on? You like?
I like. He's good. You said you don't have social media, so nobody should ever try to track you down. This is my friend Aaron from League of Legends. That's how you can find him. Type that in. That's the League Summoner name. So yeah, look for that.
Hashtag NA number 1.
Yeah, baby. And you can find me here on YouTube and on Blue Sky, Marcus Bretta, everywhere. It's also linked to the description, so there's all that shenanigans. Watch more videos of mine. Most of them are better edited than this one, and are actually about something and aren't so rambly. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to stay positive and have a wonderful day.